What makes dew form, Joy? Come on.
Yeah, it's basically condensation. And what's happening out here is a bit scary because the kind of condensation that's happened, dew is also a product of how fast it condenses. Because what's happening is water vapor in the air, it's getting cold, and the water vapor basically turns into water, which comes on the ground, which is supposed to happen. But really, in a lot of places, most places, you'll get dew later and later at night. When it happens very quickly, that means that from the heat, the heat is being sent back, it's suddenly getting cold, and the dew is forming very early. This kind of dew in Ahmedabad is scary because what it's telling you is that if this kind of dew we start getting over the next few matches, then what will happen is the Ahmedabad schedule might become a bit of a lottery. And that's not something teams want.
Now, is there something you can almost prepare now that you're prepared for it? We've watched the game, we've analyzed it, but the likes of Virat Kohli and company is Bangalore playing Delhi in 24 hours time. What will they be thinking right now, Pommie?
Win the toss. That's what they'll be thinking. That's exactly what they'll be thinking. I'm telling you, that it's true. I mean, I know I say that and you go, but that's the first part. If you don't, doesn't mean you've lost the game. But
Virat's not very good at that, by the way, Pommie.
He's not used to it, he said, but when he wins it, he walks off and he expects the other guys won it. But yeah, I think that's the first part. I wonder, as I sit here, I wonder if seeing that game and seeing that much dew, there can be a change to say, listen, we can't carry on and go into the next one and the next one and the next one, and there's all this dew. Perhaps we do earlier games. 3:30 games rather than 7:30 games. It might be a case then where, Punjab sit and say, no, hold on. We've already played. You can't now decide that others should have it better. I don't know, but it's something to contend with. It's something to practice. That all the bowlers are going to have to practice bowling with a ball that's rather wet. If the ball disappears out the ground, when you get a new one, it's dry. Remember?
Yeah, we've talked about that strategy already.
Yeah, but you don't want the ball to go out the ground, do you? Because then you're being smashed for sixes. But yeah, it is a concern. I think it's a big concern. It's something that the bowlers will have to practice. And even if they do practice, it is very difficult to bowl with a wet ball. For faster bowlers and for spinners, gripping it. If you're trying to bowl Yorkers and you're trying to go into the block hole, it can slip out right at the top, and that's when you start getting beamers and stuff like that. So yeah, it's tough. But all that said, they can't sit there and go, feel sorry for ourselves. They've got to try and find a way to get the job done somehow.
I think the job number one, Joy, now that we've learnt it, they'll have talked tonight and say, okay, let's assume we lose the toss. Let's start with point number one. The simple thing is 30 extra runs. So let us maybe even look at team selection in such a way, batting orders in such a way, and just our mindset to approach that we get 30 extra runs when we go into bat.
Yeah, I think they'll have to, because there are quite a few games in Ahmedabad right now, and this dew is, we've seen dew before. It's not that we haven't seen dew. Take a look at that. There's Punjab, Kolkata, which just happened. Then there's Delhi, Bangalore, Delhi, Kolkata. These are important matches because, see, it really can change Delhi's schedule and it can change Kolkata's schedule. And if Kolkata wins a couple of more tosses, 2 more tosses, 2 more batting seconds, and there you are. Delhi loses a couple, things could change dramatically as well. So these are really big swing factors, because I'm not saying there isn't dew in Chennai, but the dew in Chennai or the dew in Mumbai has been nothing compared to the dew we saw out here today. This is serious amounts of dew. The kind of dew that you look at the spikes, the players playing, what spikes they're using, and wondering, do they go from half spikes? Do they change their spikes? It's literally like that. And I think I'm wondering what to do, because there's some bowlers who will find it really difficult to bowl under these conditions.
And just to clarify for all of you out there, you saw that list that we had put up. The last game that was highlighted, the reason it was highlighted was it's the only dewless, hopefully, day game in Ahmedabad. So it all day night, or night, all of them except for that last one, which is going to be a day game as part of the first half of a double header on that day. So that's the only relief that they'll have. But for all the other games, we do expect to be a bit of a lottery, or certainly a strategic game, shall we say, from the bat side that bats first.